Hey Jessica, how are you?
Hi, Scott. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Congratulations on the show.
Thank you.
I've watched the first 4 episodes and I watched them. I don't usually binge things, but it was an easy binge, this one. It was great fun. So
Thank you.
congratulations on that. I know this is something that you've wanted to get involved with and get off the ground for quite a while now. What was your reaction when you finally got the call to say, hey, we might actually be doing this time? Do you fancy being involved?
Well, I was relieved for Marvel because I had threatened to burn them to the ground. So, I was just happy for them that they could survive another day. But I was, I mean, truly, it was a dream come true. It was a dream job.
What made it so special for you? What made this character kind of stand out amongst all of the plethora of Marvel comic books in general? What makes this one kind of stand out for you as a writer?
Well, she was my favorite character in Marvel comics specifically. And it was the John Byrne run that really made me fall in love with her because it was just so funny. And I love the levity of those comics because a lot of superhero comics, I wasn't super into superhero comics when I was a kid. I read a lot of like indie press stuff. And because most superhero comics, like, it had the same kind of rhythm, you kind of get fatigued from like the drama of it all, the high stakes, and a lot of it are very tortured stories, and what was so refreshing about Byrne's run of She-Hulk is it was just fun. It was light, even if like she was saving the world or saving the day, like she kind of didn't take it too seriously. And I felt like that also felt very real because most people kind of deal with trauma or scary situations like with humor. That's kind of how we process things. Most people, well, especially comedy writers, of course. And also I love that she broke the fourth wall. I love that she argued with Byrne. I love that she argued with Renée, the editor. I love that she made fun of comic book tropes, just the format of comics itself, like how meta it was. I loved all of it.
Do you think it's actually perfect timing for something like this? Because there's a lot of content out there these days, superheroes, and obviously Marvel is such a gigantic thing. That something like this, it does feel very fresh. Do you feel like it's like the perfect timing to be releasing this show?
Well, I think it's long overdue, of course, but yeah, I think it's a great time. I think it would have been a great time years ago as well.
Yeah.
But yes, like it is a great time to have this come out because there is this levity to it, but it does tackle a lot of serious themes as well. But in kind of the way that like a lot of people handle deeper, heavier subjects, which is to kind of put a comedic spin on it.
How much easier was your job made by getting someone like Tatiana to play the lead? Because there was a moment a couple of years ago where she was going to do it, and then she said, "No, I'm not doing it," and then she did do it. But how much easier does that make your job when you get someone like her to take on this? Because she seems like she's a perfect fit.
Oh, it feels like cheating, honestly. Like, well, because when you have an actor as talented as she is, like, it makes the job of writing so much easier because in the back of your head, like, you're like, if I phone the scene in, she's just going to elevate it, Of course, I never would phone in a scene, but, if I did, I just know that she always makes everything better. She's always additive, and she's so present when she performs that as soon as she is Jen, she is Jen. Like, you really feel like this is a real person. This is a person who has lived a life and has relationships and layers to her, standing in front of me talking and existing.
Yeah. And for fans, I mean, they're very excited to see this. And obviously there's a lot, as I said, a lot of content and stuff. What do you think makes this one stand out? What would you say to them that if some of them are maybe like, oh, more Marvel, what would you say to them about this show, why it's worth their time?
Well, it truly is very, very different than anything that has ever been in Marvel. Like, I do think this is a lot of firsts for Marvel. This is like new territory for them. And just even tonally, it's very different for anything in Marvel. And I don't think Marvel Studios themselves has done anything like this meta or with this amount of levity to it. And I think people will have a lot of fun watching it.
I certainly did. So that's one.
Great.
Yeah. Jessica, thanks so much for your time. Pleasure talking to you.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Thanks so much. You too.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys. Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey